All right, lots cooking. Thank you very much, John and Sandra. I'm Martha McCallum. Good afternoon, everybody. This is The Story. So, waiting for a number of breaking news events coming out of the White House this hour. We are going to hear from President Trump, along with Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, about the Golden Dome missile defense system. You know, when you really dig into our defenses, you learn a little bit more about how old a lot of our systems are and how much they need to be repaired and updated. So we're going to get you up to speed on all of that. Also, we are just learning that Secretary Pete Hegseth has also ordered a complete review to hold accountable the people who were behind this chaotic and deadly exit from Afghanistan. We're going to go live to the White House for that, just moments away. Also, we are waiting for some movement on Capitol Hill, where the president met face-to-face with Republican lawmakers, trying to get them to pass what he calls his big, beautiful bill. It is a package of a lot of tax breaks for Americans across the country. A big package, $1.6 trillion in spending cuts, is part of this. He's got a little bit of opposition within his own party, which, of course, controls both the House and the Senate right now, but they're fighting amongst themselves on this one. Here is the president right after his meeting where he was trying to whip everybody into this bill just earlier, a couple of hours ago. Watch this.
I think it was a really great, that was a meeting of love. Let me tell you, that was love in that room. There was no shouting. I think it was a meeting of love. There were a couple of things that we talked about specifically where some people felt a little bit one way or the other, not a big deal.
All right, Making Money host Charles Payne is standing by, but first let's bring in one of the Republicans who is still holding out on agreeing with this deal and met with the president today, New York Congressman Mike Lawler. Congressman Lawler, thank you very much for being here. I mean, the major issue with some of the more moderate Republican, current Republican leadership states is this SALT issue. Explain to everybody at home what's the heart of this issue. It allows people to deduct their state and local taxes from their income tax, right?
Well, yes, Martha, thanks for having me. At its core, this is an issue of double taxation and fairness. In 2017, when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed, SALT was used as a pay-for, limiting the ability of individuals to deduct their state and local taxes on their federal income tax returns to $10,000. It is set to expire at the end of this year and return to what it was for over 100 years, which is unlimited. I have said repeatedly, from the moment that I ran for office against Sean Patrick Maloney, the chair of the DCCC, that I would never support a tax bill that doesn't adequately lift the cap on SALT. We have been negotiating in good faith for months, only to be rebuffed by Speaker Johnson and the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Jason Smith, who failed to actually negotiate, and they tried to jam us at the last minute with a number. And we're not going to get rolled on this. I said very clearly to the president, to leadership for months, that we are willing to negotiate to provide additional tax relief and pay-fors for other provisions, but that we need to provide real relief to our constituents. The fact is, and let me just make this point, Martha, in my district, 3 of the 4 counties I represent are in the top 16 highest property tax counties in America. It is income taxes and property taxes that are crushing folks in districts like mine.
No, I get it. I live in one of those states, so I understand the issue. We know that the president wants to see some compromise in different places. This is the Wall Street Journal editorial board's take on this on Sunday, Congressman Lawler. They say this: the SALT Republicans are getting more outrageous. Their latest gambit is to propose higher tax rates across the country so they can extort a bigger state and local tax deduction for Democrats who run New York State. And I'll just add this. This is to sources at Fox News that the president reportedly said to you with regard to this: I know your district better than you do. If you lose because of SALT, you were going to lose anyway. What do you say to those 2 points?
Well, respectfully to the president, I've won 3 times in 2-to-1 Democratic districts because I know what the issues are impacting my district.
Did he say that to you, Congressman? Is that an accurate quote?
It is, and here's the truth. I'm one of only 3 Republicans that have won in a district that Kamala Harris won. So the fact is, I know my district very well, and there's a reason why I've been successful. I respect the president. I know how important it is to pass this bill. Allowing the tax cuts to expire would be catastrophic. It would be the single largest tax increase in American history. But I'm not going to sacrifice my constituents and throw them under the bus in a bad faith negotiation, which is what this has been by leadership and Jason Smith. So I'm sitting in the Speaker's office. I just left those negotiations that have restarted since this morning to come talk to you, and I'll be going back right after we finish this. But the fact is, we need to come to an agreement. We need to provide real and lasting tax relief. And that's what I'm fighting for my constituents. So I respect the president, respect the Wall Street Journal, but I'll respectfully disagree. And the fact is that in a district like mine, it is not the wealthy that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the cop and the teacher who are struggling under the crushing weight of the highest tax burden in America and in New York. We can all agree Kathy Hochul is the worst governor in America. Nobody disputes that. We can all agree New York's cost of living is exorbitant.
Okay.
Nobody disputes that.
All
but
right.
I'm not going to sell out my constituents at the expense of getting a fair tax deal.
All right, Congressman, we will watch the compromise and the process in the coming hours and days. We know that there may be a vote on this as soon as tomorrow. Only a handful of votes can vote no and allow this bill to pass in the House, and then they've got to deal with what lies ahead in the Senate. Congressman Lawler, thanks for stepping away and taking a moment with us. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Martha.
sir.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.